So you cooking some stuff up for
Yeah,
some
working on syndicated mix show.
Okay, so let's just talk about everything that you're doing right now that's current.
I mean, right now, like I said, we have a syndicated show. When I say we, I got a crew called the Southern Style DJs.
Mm-hmm.
Um, DJ Monte, who's a super producer, who's produced songs such as "Walk It Out," DJ Unk, Flow Rider, Get Low,
Mm-hmm.
Sugar for Flow Rider. You know, that's some of our production, which is called Top Quality Production. And we have a little younger dude, Super Blues, a part of our Southern Style DJ. And then we have the OG MC Assault, who basically put everybody together, where it started from the beginning with the DJ Jelly MC Assault mixtape back in the 90s to now.
Mm-hmm.
Also, we have a site that you can go to called mixtapemobsters.com. And that's where you can stream all my mixes like from the early 90s to now, recently and stuff. So it's like incredible. It's a streaming site for all our mixes.
Okay.
The label, Big Room Records, close the door, baby, close the door. The label is Big Room Records. We just signed a young white dude from Athens, Georgia named Wix
Mm-hmm.
with Atlantic Records. It's kind of a co-deal that we're doing with them, a joint venture. I'm about to produce Cujo from Goody Mob's podcast called Say Less Radio that we're launching at the end of January, beginning of February. I'm working with a little bit of everybody, just doing a lot of more like, consulting, make sure they got the right people, artists or right producers on their albums. So that's the kind of stuff I do as well.
Okay, dope stuff.
Just keeping busy, thank God.
Thank
Um, I,
God.
yeah, thank God. I just did an ad for Jameson Liquor Company, which was pretty dope. They're doing like they're doing legendary artists in Atlanta, and that was the first one they picked. So that was cool. I just did an ad for them. Yeah, literally yesterday.
Wow.
Um, I did a beer collaboration with a local brewery called Steady Hand. That's the local brewery here in Atlanta. We did a Black is Beautiful collaboration because what's been going on with the microbrewery world, obviously there are Black brewers, but people don't really know that, and
Right.
they're trying to make it more inclusive. So they got with the local brewery, got with me, and got with another talented restaurant owner, and just like, hey, let's put some things together. And a lot of the breweries around the United States really started doing this movement where they were collaborating with other Black artists, whether they were in music or restaurant business, and making something happen. So that was kind of cool too.
Yeah,
So
that's phenomenal. It's kind of like
uh,
things that, like you said, you wouldn't think Black be part of. They're kind of running the gambit with that. So
right,
that's awesome. Um,
exactly.
so it just
hmm
seems like you have your plate full. So were you affected at all by the pandemic?
I mean, at first, yeah, at first I was just like, okay, like, okay, now what do I do? Because all the live shows, I do a lot of live shows as well, meaning that I promote shows and put
Hmm.
shows together. I'm involved with this one festival called the Weirdo Fest, and it's like a collective of, you know, people who are not traditionally what you think Atlanta would be, type
Hmm.
stuff, and that really started jumping off. But then the pandemic hit, and it was just like, all break songs. So
Right.
it's all good. So the whole of course the virtual world has been going on, and I was just like, you know what, I got to jump into it. So I did a couple of live stuff and DJ live. I actually got to do something for DeKalb County's um, artistic program next week. I got to do something for the kids, play the music, and stuff like that. So that's kind of cool. So that whole virtual world, I had to dive into.
Feet first, not head
I had
first.
balls to the wall. I just was like, hey, let me go. Let me go.
Like
Let
you
me
had to
just
be
do it.
creative. You had to learn how to use pivot and use what you had, right?
Right. That's been around us for obviously 10 so more years, but now it's like, okay, now it's go time. You gotta
Right. No
be
excuses.
left. No excuses. None.
So for people who don't know who you are and your amazing contributions to hip hop, can you tell people some of the work that you had prior to now?
I mean, I started in the early '90s when Atlanta first hip hop scene first started becoming a hip hop scene. I go by the name of DJ Jelly. They call me a stamp of approval. I've been very instrumental in a lot of Atlanta artists' careers from the '90s, literally to now. And when I say instrumental, just as a DJ, I've been able to break the music. I've been able to connect the music and the artists to other people, other platforms, other ventures. So that's always been my thing. We starting from Outkast to the Social Death Days to Jeezy to T.I. to Pastor Troy to Gucci Mane to Waka Flocka to Lil Baby. Like,
Wow.
you know, in terms of radio, in terms of streets, you know, I've been one of those key figures in the whole movement of Atlanta hip hop. Okay, baby. Okay, sister, go and take little sister to the bathroom. Yeah. So that's what I've been instrumental. I've been one of those key figures, and you know, with all blessings, one of the ambassadors to Atlanta's hip hop. Period.
Right.
You know,
Period.
just just balls to the wall with it. You know. Yeah.
Look, you gonna have me saying it, going to work, balls to the wall, y'all.
Just gotta go, you know.
So and it brings me to a point, you know, like you said, you were the stamp of approval. So why is it important to have a DJ like you in an artist's corner?
Because one, I've been around forever, and you know, I'm a DJ that's a fan of music first.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm not so much into this thing like, well, I'm DJ Jelly and this is what it is, blah blah blah, and that's it. But it's more of I'm a fan, so I enjoy music. Like I listen. I'll listen to a song that ain't even mixed and just understand it, you know, and people respect that. They be like, okay, what you think, Jelly? You know, so that's been a blessing.
Right.
I'm not gonna say that every single record in my career I called and was like, oh, this is a hit or this is the most credible thing, but my percentage point has been very, very high.
Right.
So I love music, period. Even when I'm collaborating on projects and doing stuff, you know, it's more of me lending my ear and saying, well, you know what, this ingredient needs this. It needs this sauce, it needs that, it needs, you know, that's just always been my thing.
Right. So, and interestingly, is there a such thing as etiquette when approaching someone of your caliber?
Of course, I think it's etiquette when you approach anyone, no matter who they are, or where they are in their life, or what level. It's a thing called respect,
Fact.
and having enough sense to say, "Hey, what's going on? How you doing?" and going from there. I mean, you know, I like people who are serious about themselves, even if they are cocky. But cause I mean, I've known Tip since he was like 14 years old, and he was always had that attitude. Literally,
right.
How he is, he was like that as a kid, like literally. So even if you have a cocky attitude or you know would have a chip on your shoulder, if you're about your work and you are persistent and consistent, that you win me every time.
Okay.
You know, I can't do nothing but respect. I'd be like, hey, because you got to get it. If nobody hear you hollering, then ain't nobody gonna hear you. You know, and you got to respect that. And if you go about the way where you don't disrespect the person,
Mm-hmm.
I'll be like, oh, you know, then I'm cool with that too. You could be cocky and still be about it.
That's
and
right.
Move and make moves. I love it.
Right. It's confidence, basically.
Confidence. There you go. Thank you. That is the word we're looking for today. You're right.
Not balls to the wall.
not that phrase. Yeah. So yeah, confidence. And I respect that. Yeah.
So what is one of your pet peeves?
One of my pet peeves, thinking that you know too much.
That's right.
That's definitely one of my pet peeves. I just be like, oh my God. Just like our president. I mean, just like having that type of attitude, you know, I'm not with none of that. And you get a lot of that when it comes to entertainment. You know, I get it. People fake it till they make it. I get it. Okay, cool. But some people just take it to the extreme. Or if they get in a certain level, they just feel that they just all that. That kills me. I'm not, you know, that type of thing, having that overconfidence, or that's just too much for me.
Narcissism.
Narcissism. There you go again. We went from confidence to narcissism. Well, I'm fill in the blanks. That's what I'm talking about. Exactly.
That's what we're doing today.
That's what we're doing today. I mean, whew. And that's real though. I hate that. But anyway, it is what it is.
It is what it is. So,
go ahead.
No. What were you gonna say?
No, I was gonna say being lazy.
Yes.
I mean, we all guilty for being lazy at some point on certain things anyway.
Right.
But just being consistently lazy, and you got talent, that kills me every time. I see so many talented people that are more incredible than most people who are hot now. But man, if you ain't got that work ethic,
right,
it's wrap.
Yeah, because we all got the same hours in a day. It's how we utilize, and I say that often, it's how we utilize our hours in a day. So I could dig it. So with that being said, because you said something that was very intriguing, and that was the elections. How did you feel? Were you inspired? Were you empowered? Were you mad? Like, what were your thoughts?
Oh, I mean, I wasn't mad at all because I just knew it's always the country's always been divided. Let's be honest. Our president, he is a handful. We already know that. The Biden campaign, he seemed like the most likely, so it's like, okay, we know that. I just think now it's a point to where, and I thought what Ice Cube is talking about in terms of having a contract as being black, as black, African Americans, and we need to hold people accountable and really demand our space in this country. We really do. I just think that's where I'm at. Just period. We really have to demand, and we showed up to the polls. That's great, but now, 6-8 months from now, we got to put stuff in plans for us.
Right.
Yeah, and I saw something yesterday. Speaking of people who are in less fortunate situation, that's a majority of Black African Americans in America. The majority of it's not all of us, but majority of us.
Right.
I saw a thing with Kim Kardashian. She was being interviewed by David Letterman on Netflix special, and she picked up law with like her father, and she went to go help people who are messed up incarcerated in the justice system. I just think that's incredible. Like, the fact that she took a stance herself, that's kind of where we as Black people, we're gonna have to just really get on it across the board at all our levels and really start really standing up and really going and demanding what we need from this government.
Facts, and from each other. I mean, we got a lot
from
of work
each other. We got a lot of work to do, and it's not impossible. But we have to say, you know what, we got to work. We have to make moves. We have to start doing certain things to move forward.
That's right. And that brings me to another question, like, with the rappers and the artists in the industry and what's going on out in the streets. Like, you had King Von that was gunned down. You have MO3 who was shot and killed today. Like, how, as someone who's seen it all and been around for a long time, how do you feel that you can impact those artists, those people who's more influential than they even realize to the younger generation?
We have to, it goes back to what we just talked about, making each other accountable. And everybody's not going to be a leader in this. Can you still see me?
I see a beautiful mixtape cover.
Okay, hold on one second. Hold on. All right. There we go. Somebody was calling my phone, and they may call back. But we have to keep each other accountable. And a lot of the people that are surrounding a lot of these artists, and especially younger artists, whether they're yes men, whether they just greedy or don't care, I just think, and a lot of them are my peers. So really, for me, myself, when I come across certain people, I'm just going to have conversations with them because they gotta really help the younger artists understand what's going on. That's just like, I'm gonna shout out to Coach K and P for them for what they did with Lil Baby when they made the Bigger Picture song. And I know that was a collective situation like that. Stuff like that's important. Even something starting just at that point, that's important. You know, and
that's
really nurturing and mentoring these younger artists. We have to, you know, as people of my generation, we got to mentor them. We can't just take a check, get the money, and be like, it's all good, and be like, yeah, do what you do. That's wrong.
Right. The way it was back in the day.
Yeah, it's just wrong. We gotta hold each other accountable. And that's everybody who's in those positions to do so.
That's right. It's too many babies out here doing the same thing, and it's a repeat cycle. And not breaking these generational curses. So, and this, I'm going to toggle backwards because I've been too political.
That's all good. We got to have them. We have to have these conversations.
We have to have the uncomfortable conversations. That's right. That's right. In order to see improvement within our Black community, like we can't just depend on the president. We gotta do something ourselves. So, and I'm just going to go backwards. How did you become a DJ?
Just playing around, you know. I love hip hop. I'm originally from St. Louis, and I love hip hop. Period. You know, grew up with the Sugar Hill Gang stuff, a kid. And, you know, that inspired me. That amazed me. I used to break dance, rap, all that. Draw. I was a visual artist already, so graffiti, all that just came natural. Like hip hop, and I tell a lot of people, hip hop saved my life. It just really has. And then I, you know, used to throw house parties, and then I saw other people DJing. I have a mentor that's in St. Louis, an older cat by the name of Cutmaster K, incredible mixologist. And that stuff, I was just like, man, I need to do that too. Cause you know, if I saw people break dance, I break dance, rapping, I rap. Now I'm like, I got to DJ. I gotta get up here and jiggy. and from there, it just really, all those, you know, which is a form of hip hop and it's a culture, obviously, you know, the DJing, the rapping, and the graffiti art, all that's the b-boying, all that's is hip hop. It's a culture, right? So I'm just like, I got to do it, you know. And then it really influenced me as a teen, and from there it was a wrap. I ended up, you know, coming to Atlanta in the early '90s when hip hop first really started bubbling up, and just came at the right time.
Right, and just been one of the most influential voices of hip hop, which is phenomenal. So, and then with that, and then just your background, like where you are right now, you are touted as being one of the original DJs who still use turntables, and it's you're doing it right now. So why is that authenticity so important to you?
No. I mean, I do. Like I have my set of turntables on this side, my actual turntables. I have a real turntable that I can play music right here. Then I have the controller. So I'm involved with all the aspects of DJing. I was stubborn for a while. I wouldn't do the Serato thing, and like, man, that's some bullshit. And you know, but you gotta survive, and you have to evolve.
Right.
And you know, and I got plenty of vinyl everywhere, but you know, I like using everything to manipulate and exercise my creativity.
Right. Okay.
So I just don't limit it to turntable. I love turntable. I think turntables are some of the best, but you know, you can be in a concert and you get feedback. We can get to the technical aspects of the DJing, but you know, you got a controller. It's not, you know, no sound problems. But anyway, it's a lot of technical stuff. But yeah, I like it all. And as well, speaking of that, I teach as well. I used to be a teacher at the Scratch Academy when they had it here in Atlanta. It was here for 2 years. Shouts out to Jam Master Jay, rest in peace. He started in New York, obviously, and they had a branch here, and it ended up folding 2 years ago. So eventually, from there, I started teaching people, you know, how to, you know, from the basics of vinyl to the technicals of controllers and software. So I keep that going. I mean, the one I just had a course with a 13-year-old last month. A sister, 47 years old, called me literally last week saying, hey, I want to get back into DJing. What do I need to do? So it doesn't matter. You know, people love, it's a stress reliever. Of course, with quarantine and, you know, the social distancing, people are finding, you know, time to do things like that, DJ or go back to their old passion, something that they wanted to do with music. So
Right.
that's been kind of cool to connect with these people.
So did you participate? I know you said you did some of the virtual things, like when the DJs were, it wasn't a battle, more so just DJs displaying their talents. Did you participate in that?
For myself, yes. Just
Hmm.
on some my own promotion, DJ Jelly. I'll be on Saturday at this time and blah blah blah. Yeah, I've been doing that since the quarantine.
Okay. And then speaking of quarantine, because I heard a little peekaboos come in there with you. How is that balance with fatherhood?
It's interesting. It's crazy, and but it's fun though. It's fun. It's a challenge, but I mean that's just life. You're gonna be faced with it. You gotta show up and show and prove, even when I'm tired or something.
Right.
Hey, get up in the morning, click on that MacBook, and my second graders just got to be in school. I got to be the assistant teacher. You know,
How
that's a
have you
part of it.
how have you adapted to the virtual learning?
It wasn't the easiest thing, but eventually, you have to make yourself. You had to really find it in your mind, be like, you know what, I got to get this because I'm not about
Hmm.
to be messed up. My child can't be messed up.
Right.
So it's ended up happening just like with anything, like learning new software and different stuff like that.
Hmm.
Same thing where you like, man, I gotta learn this because I
Right.
don't want to be, left in the dust or just, you know, be, be out the picture.
Right. Especially with what these kids are learning now. Like, man, I would have failed tremendously.
Whew, I don't even want to think about it, at all. But now, we got the future. We got them doing it. You got kids too, right?
Yes.
Oh,
Again.
okay, that's a game. Well, I mean, between me and my wife, we have six.
Six. Okay. All right. I got you beat. I have four biological kids, and then the kids have aged out. Let's just say that.
Okay,
So when
okay.
my sister, yes, when my sister passed away, I had eight at one time. So that was like heavy business right there. So I feel you with the six. So I'm down to the last four at home. And I'm like chomping at the bit, like, okay, somebody's turning 18 next year, somebody's turning 24. It's time for people to move out.
You got
Like,
grown.
let's go.
I
Let's.
still got. I went backwards. I got babies.
Oh man,
So
how was that
yeah,
experience though?
boy, it's work. It keep me up though. It keep me moving. So that's cool. That's cool. And they love music and all that art. They love it. So
Keeps you young. Keeps you
keep
young, not me.
it keeps me young. Now, where you located?
In Charlotte,
Charlotte. Okay. All right.
Charlotte, North Carolina.
Okay, that's what's up. Okay, that's my old stomping grounds. DJ Butterfingers.
Power 98.
Okay, man, I need to catch up with. I hadn't talked to Butterfingers in like 10 years.
So, are you affiliated with the Coalition DJs or no?
Yes, I'm
Yes.
affiliated with them because they are my partners. We all done came up together.
Okay, all right. Now, here's a weird question. I'm pretty sure you. No, I won't assume you've been asked, and I don't want you to feel no kind of way when I ask because it seemed like music is your passion, whether it's
Okay,
DJing or just being in the mix. So, if you couldn't be a DJ, what would you be doing now?
I would be an art teacher.
Okay.
I'll be teaching art, working with the kids. Period.
Period. With the T.
Period. Yeah. Period. Yeah.
So
Exactly.
now you have a record label.
I have a record label that I helped found. I'm a partner of Big Move Records.
Hmm.
Mm.
And then with that, like, what are you looking for new talents or what's going on with that?
I mean, we always looking for new talent. It always seemed to work out when the talent's actually here,
Hmm.
in Atlanta. But I mean, we always. I mean, I'm always looking personally, just everywhere. I have a partner, DJ Motown, that's in the Midwest, and he's surrounded by like he can get to Missouri in a couple of minutes, to Indiana in another minute, Tennessee. He's just in this bubble, and I'm just really curious to see all this talent that's coming up. Like,
Right.
I stuff like that always keeps me just piped up all the time. Keep me all the time. I love that. seeing else what's going on, you know.
Right.
Go ahead.
No. What were you gonna say?
No, in fact, I have to do an interview tomorrow with this young lady from Toronto named Charmaine, who's coming through Atlantic Records, and you know, it's always interesting to see what's going on with younger artists that are from everywhere else in the world. I love that. I love it.
It should be flattering, like just testing the waters for sure.
Absolutely. Yes,
so
ma'am.
Where can people find your newest material and just kind of stay up with what you got going on?
Well, they can definitely follow me on our site. Like I said, we have a streaming site, mixtapemobsters.com, MixtapeMobstaz, mixtapemobsters.com, www.mixtapemobsters.com. Also, they can catch me at The Real DJ Jelly, TheReal DJJELLY. So it's spelled regularly. So that's on IG and Twitter. Ain't no none of that. It's The Real DJ Jelly on IG and Twitter, and on Facebook at Jelly's Jam, JELLYSJAM, no apostrophe.
You know, so
you always catch me.
That was a good name, though. It's a good name. It's easy to find.
Easy to find. That's right.
I have one more question, and it's kind of from the left field, but what was your favorite project from the 90s?
My favorite project from the 90s was putting together Big On Records in 95. That's my first favorite project, and two, being involved with breaking the whole Outkast, Goodie Mob, Dungeon Family stuff. Well, I hope after all this stuff, you know, dwindle out, whatever, I could definitely stop by and check you out, because I got a close friend that's from Charlotte. He goes back and forth. His name is One Badass Drummer.
Oh, wow.
And,
okay.
He's from Charlotte. He lives here, but he goes back and forth a lot.
Well, you got to hit me up. I'm always down to chop it up for sure. Definitely.
Okay.
Hit me up. If you ever come out of quarantine, because I'm telling you, this president, our new president or president-elect, he's like, listen, whether we lock down, whatever the case may be, I'm going to do what I have to do to get this COVID under control.
Yeah, that's real. And the government better go make sure they got that money kicking out for these folks, too. We can't be losing houses and livelihoods, you know, at the same time. So they,
that's
you know,
right.
They've already did it. So now they got to be consistent as well, so everybody else can be on point.
That's right. You know, but it's going to take a while to undo damage that's already been done. So it's kind of like burning the candles on both ends. We just have to watch and see what happens.
Yeah, very true. Very true. Well, I thank you for, you know, being bothered with me. So that's cool.
No, it's like talking to an old friend. It was fun. Thank you so much. Cool. And enjoy your night and put them babies to bed.
I know that. Right. Well, thank you so much. And you be good and be